Welcome to the 2020 Champions Dinner, presented by Randolph-Macon College Athletics. Tonight, we'll see which play won our annual Play of the Year vote. We'll reveal our 2019-2020 Moment of the Year, plus which student athlete has been honored for the Performance of the Year. And we'll proudly announce winners for the Whiteman Bell, the Robert V. Doggett Award, the Hugh Stevens Coach of the Year Award, the George P. Compton Award, the Susan Locke Denagi Award. Plus, we'll recognize our ODAC championship teams and a special recognition coming forth tonight on our virtual Champions Dinner. Now, from Crenshaw Gym on the campus of Randolph-Macon College, here's Ray Hedrick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 18th edition of our Champions Dinner. I hope this finds everyone healthy and practicing proper safety guidelines by wearing your gloves and your mask. I'm head baseball coach Ray Hedrick, and I'm honored to serve as your MC this evening. And while I wish that we could all be together in the Brock Center, I am so excited to be here with you virtually as we honor the fantastic student athletes we have here at Randolph-Macon. As we begin tonight's program, let's hear from our very own President Bob Lingren to get us started.
Thanks so much, Coach Hedrick, and good evening, Yellow Jackets. I certainly hope all of you and your families are well and staying well. And I want to welcome our students, your families, our coaches, athletic staff, friends, alumni, and many others who have joined us tonight. Athletes, as you well know, in your triumphs and moments of loss, you have been guided, mentored, and trained by the best coaches, trainers, and athletic department staff members found anywhere in college athletics. And I know you all join me in thanking and congratulating each of them as well for everything they have done and are doing for our students, our athletic program, and for RMC. I also profoundly thank our fans and donors, parents and alumni who too have stayed strong, resilient, ever loyal and generous to our beloved Yellow Jacket cause. And I'm delighted to be a part of this wonderful dinner with all of you tonight. Indeed, this is our 18th annual Champions Dinner, a now beloved Randolph-Macon tradition, celebrating a legacy of true excellence at RMC among our athletes and athletics. And of course, I would so much rather be with you in person, as the Champions Dinner is truly one of my very favorite occasions of the year. For tonight is about you, our extraordinary athletes, and the significant accomplishments of you all. You all have so much about which to be proud. And tonight is also about our seniors. How marvelous it has been to see those wonderful daily senior salutes come across our email and social media, celebrating each of our senior athletes and your remarkable achievements. All of us at Randolph-Macon are enormously proud of each and every one of you. Our pride, in fact, is boundless, and at no time more so than right now. So tonight we will focus on your successes. Tonight we will celebrate you, and we honor you. Your accomplishments have been enormous this year, both on and off the field, and they will be highlighted throughout the evening. Now, as you know, it is hard not to recognize the impact of the COVID-19 situation on all of us right now. Athletes, you have heard time and again how sorry we are that this pandemic occurred in the way that it did, profoundly impacting our students, and particularly our athletes. So many of you have lost so much. Lost time on the field and courts, lost time in person with your coaches and teammates, lost important pieces of athletic seasons, each of them filled in their own way with extraordinary promise and anticipation. You athletes know about these losses better than anyone, about that sense of what might have been, and we are indeed all so very sorry. But before I leave you, I also want to say this. You athletes have all heard me talk incessantly at times, I know, about the great life lessons that you learn by competing in athletics at the collegiate level, as you have. Those lessons are enormously magnified this year. Even if it is difficult to see the truth in all of this, clearly right now I want to say to you that your resilience and perseverance and grace in the midst of this pandemic make all of us especially proud of each and every one of you, because finding ways to overcome challenges, even when you are sorely disappointed, are among the most valuable skills you can ever develop. That is exactly what you have been doing. We see you doing it, and we know the strengths that you have developed will serve you very well in your lives and in your careers in the years ahead. The legacy of Randolph-Macon Athletics is stronger than ever, reflected not only in your outstanding accomplishments in our 18 athletic programs, but also about how all of you will make us proud, very proud, in your postgraduate lives. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Enjoy this virtual Champions Dinner. And as always, go Yellow Jackets.
Thank you, President Lindgren. We are so lucky to have such a supportive and involved president. And while he fought for us until the end, the growing crisis forced us off the field. We know that there would be so many more wins and awards to celebrate here tonight if we could have seen the rest of the spring play out as planned. My heart goes out to all the seniors who had the remainder of their time here taken from them, but I have been so impressed with the way they have handled it with such grace, and I look forward to taking the time tonight to really honor all that they have done in their 4 years here. Please allow me a few minutes to recount the highlights associated with the senior athletes graduating this year. They have been part of 14 NCAA tournament bids, 8 ODAC championships, 14 ODAC Player of the Year awards, including 3 this year. In the past 4 years, the Yellow Jackets have earned 3 ODAC Rookie of the Year awards and 12 Coach of the Year awards. They were a part of football's first NCAA win, women's soccer's first ODAC championship and NCAA bid since 1996, and baseball and softball's historic World Series runs. They have never not been the ODAC regular season title holders in women's volleyball. They set numerous records in the pool and won the Ted Keller Golf Tournament for the first time since 2002. They kept the department climbing in the ODAC Commissioner's Cup throughout their career and were on pace to have the best year in history this year. These seniors led their teams not only on the field, but in the classroom as well. We had another school record number of student athletes named to the ODAC All-Academic Team this year, with 211. Our student athletes averaged a higher cumulative GPA than the student body as a whole, and in the fall had an average term GPA of over 3.0. Congratulations to our women's lacrosse team for having the highest team GPA with a 3.6, and for our men's volleyball having the highest GPA among our male sports with a 3.08. Our field hockey team was given the National Academic Team Award from the Field Hockey Coaches Association, with 7 of its members named to the National Academic Squad. We had 7 academic all-district team members and 1 academic All-American, in addition to 3 student athletes who won the prestigious ODAC Scholar Athlete of the Year award this year. From our women's basketball team, Kelly Williams. From our men's swimming team, Victor Canapanos. And from our men's basketball team, Buzz Anthony. In addition, we had a record 13 student athletes inducted into Phi Beta Kappa, a society that advocates excellence in the liberal arts and sciences. Congratulations to those 13 student athletes who span many of our 18 programs here at Randolph-Macon. This is truly one of the highest honors that can be bestowed upon students here at Randolph-Macon, and we congratulate each and every one of you. On the topic of academics, let's check in with our Director of Athletic Development, Mark Hypes, to announce our first award winner of the evening.
Thanks, Ray. There are a great deal of folks that put a lot of time and energy into making tonight's event possible. And each year I take advantage of this opportunity to recognize and thank just a few. This year I want to especially recognize and thank Phil Stanton and Taylor Mickleberry in our Sports Information Office, not just for the work that they have poured into this event, but for all that they have done in highlighting our student athletes through this unprecedented season. Phil, Taylor, thank you. Now, it is my honor to present the Robert Doggett Jr. Award for Athletic and Academic Excellence. This award was established in 2013 by Mr. Doggett's daughter, Valerie Doggett Sikora, and his grandchildren, Hannah and Sam. It recognizes the graduating student athlete with the highest academic GPA. Mr. Doggett, or as we know him, Bob, believes in the effectiveness of educating the whole student by combining the best of the classroom and the field of competition. We are grateful that his family has chosen to honor him with this annual award. Before I announce this year's recipient, I'm going to share the names of the student athletes that currently have the highest GPAs in their respective classes. From the class of 2023, with a GPA of 4.06, representing the football team, Mr. Samuel Dantzler. From the class of 2022, with a 4.05 GPA, also representing the football team, Mr. Ryan Malik. From the class of 2021, with a 4.08 GPA, representing the men's swimming team, Mr. Victor Contapanis. And now, for this year's recipient of the Robert Doggett Jr. Award. This individual is graduating with a major in business and a minor in accounting, with a GPA of 4.13. He has been a part of the college's Leadership Fellows program, served as a peer academic coach, and is a reading and learning certified tutor. On the field, he served as a captain for our men's lacrosse team, was named the 2019 ODAC Men's Lacrosse Scholar Athlete of the Year, and is an academic All-American. He departs Randolph-Macon in the top 25 for career points. Ladies and gentlemen, our recipient is Mr. Brendan Markovic. Congratulations, Brendan. Your plaque and monetary gift will be arriving at your home soon. And congratulations to all the individuals I mentioned tonight. Now back to you, Ray.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you for your continuous efforts in not only this event, but in all athletic events throughout the year, and for your hard work in maintaining the excellence that is our Yellow Jacket Club. We have had so many standout athletes this year, and in our normal setting of this event, we would be able to applaud them all as they stood to be recognized. We wish we could run through each and every name, but the constraints of the evening won't allow us to do that. So there's a full list located on the Champions Dinner webpage, and I encourage you to go and take a look at all the accolades that were accumulated throughout the year. Even without our spring sports this year, we had 45 all-conference selections, 20 all-state selections, and 7 all-region selections. We had 20 ODAC Players of the Week and 24 all-tournament team members. We had a standout rookie in men's basketball, Miles Mallory, who earned conference, state, and region Rookie of the Year accolades. We had 3 student athletes that earned not only the ODAC Player of the Year awards, but also State Player of the Year. A big congratulations to Gabby Nelson, Buzz Anthony, and Kelly Williams. All three of them were also named All-Americans and were joined by Sydney Cook and Tyler Flora, who both received All-American Honorable Mention awards in their respective sports. You all should be extremely proud of the work you've put in and the results that have come from it. All right, now that we've heard about all the standout athletes we had this year, I think it's time for another award. The next award is going to be the Performance of the Year. Let's take a look at all the nominees for Performance of the Year.
Here are the nominees for Performance of the Year. Buzz Anthony of men's basketball, as he tallies a triple-double against Lebanon Valley. In a 94-56 win, he scored 16 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, and dished out 10 assists. Victor Contapanos of men's swimming, for his gold championship run in the 200 fly at the ODAC Championships with a time of 151.27. That was a personal best, a program record, a meet record, and an ODAC record. Gabby Nelson for her 2 goals against Lynchburg in the regular season, including the game-tying 3-3 goal as the Yellow Jackets stayed in first place in the ODAC. Colin DeSessa from men's lacrosse for his efforts against St. Mary's College, as Randolph-Macon mounted a second-half comeback using a 6-goal third quarter. DeSessa finished with 5 goals and 3 assists, with 6 of those points coming in the second-half run. Kelly Williams of women's basketball for her 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 3 assists in the ODAC semifinals against Emory and Henry, as the Yellow Jackets knocked off the top seed and eventually won the ODAC championship. And Penny Sr. of men's soccer for his efforts against Cabrini, where he scored twice in the final 7 minutes to help give Randolph-Macon the come-from-behind victory against Cabrini.
And the winner is Colin DeSessa of men's lacrosse.
This is Colin DeSessa and men's lacrosse's first win in the category of Performance of the Year.
Our student athletes were not the only ones who showed off their skills this year. We also had some award-winning coaches. Bill Rogers led his team to their 6th straight ODAC regular season title and earned an at-large berth to the NCAA tournament. They were the only team this entire season to push the undefeated national champion Johns Hopkins Blue Jays to 5 sets. Josh Merkel was not only the ODAC Coach of the Year, but also the Virginia Sports Information Director State Coach of the Year and the NABC District Coach of the Year. He led his team to their 4th straight regular season ODAC title and to his first ODAC championship as head coach. The team was ranked as high as number 2 in the national polls, and they made it to the NCAA Sweet 16 before having their season cut short due to COVID-19. I have no doubt they had a couple more wins in them if they had had the chance to finish. After their peers voted, this coach ended up earning this year's next award, the Randolph-Macon College Coach of the Year Award. Already having earned ODAC and State Coach of the Year awards, this winning coach led their team to an undefeated conference record and its 2nd regular season title in a row. This person won not only their first ODAC championship as a head coach, but the team's first ODAC championship and NCAA tournament bid in more than 20 years. The team was ranked as high as 13th in the country before falling to eventual national champion in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. I am very happy to announce Coach Jay Howell as this year's 2020 Hugh Stevens Coach of the Year award winner. Take it away, Jay.
Thank you, Ray. Jay Howell here with Randolph-Macon Women's Soccer. Thank you. It is a tremendous honor for me to accept the Hugh Stevens Coach of the Year award. I view this ultimately as a team award. I want to first thank the players for an outstanding season and for all of their dedication and commitment to excellence. I want to thank Ashley Williams, Celia Mosier, and Kimmy Cummings for their great work as coaches. I want to thank Jennifer Payne for all of her hard work as our athletic trainer. I want to thank everybody in the Randolph-Macon community, family, friends, for all of their support. I want to acknowledge the strong leadership from Abby Winkleman and Gabby Nelson. And I also want to say thank you to the other seniors, and Maddie Powell, Ellis Mumford, Haley Silva, and Christina Newman. It was a wonderful year. It was a wonderful experience. The players compete with passion. We're very excited about the future. We look forward to getting back out onto the soccer field. I ask that everybody please stay healthy, continue to be happy, go Jackets, and back to you, Ray.
Congratulations again, Jay. There is one very special coach that I have yet to mention, and that's head women's basketball coach Carol LaHaye. Coach LaHaye is a true legend in the sport and such an integral part of Randolph-Macon Athletics. She went 13-2 over her final 15 contests, leading this year's women's basketball team to an ODAC championship as the number 4 seed, and then followed that up by making it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. It was her 10th overall ODAC championship as head coach, but this is only a small part of the legacy that she will leave behind. After her 647 wins and 38 seasons as head coach, we recently gathered some of her former players to talk about what their time with Randolph-Macon women's basketball meant to them. Let's take a look at what they said.
One of the things that I absolutely love about Coach LaHaye is she really understood that having a student athlete was a relationship that went far beyond that student athlete. And it included the athlete's family and extended family even.
I mean, like they said, all of my memories have to do not necessarily the wins and the losses, but more just, the team and coach and her quirkiness and her funny comments.
She does do so much for you afterward and with your family. I can't thank Coach enough for the time she's done things with my daughter, with Girl Scouts, and, from buying cookies to coming to your bronze award and speaking.
I learned a lot from her and really have carried it throughout.
Thank you so much for believing in me as your assistant these past 3 years. It's honestly been the best 3 years of my life. And then looking back to my playing days, I just thank you so much for always believing in me as a player, and all of the things you taught me, not just basketball related, but just life.
I should go through each one of them and tell them what they mean to me, but I probably wouldn't be able to get through it without crying.
But one of the things that I appreciate most about Coach LaHaye is just the way that she appreciates everyone else. One of my biggest memories, and like I said, takeaways, is the amount of thank you notes we were writing. If someone was supporting us either financially or just at every game or did something special for our team, there was a thank you note in the locker room, and Coach didn't just sign it. We all wanted to write something.
There are moments in my career that I realize I am where I am because of the lessons she has taught me. And one I will always take away is, you are not just representing yourself, you are representing a team or a company or an organization. And it was so important to her that we represented ourselves and our team and Randolph-Macon with, at the highest level and with the utmost respect.
Coach cared about us. It wasn't about the practice. It wasn't about the next game. She just wanted us to be okay, which is the central theme for all 4 years. She just wants you to be all right as a person, as a woman, as someone moving into adulthood, trying to have a career, family.
Oh, I've said it before, and I can say it again because it truly is very important to me. First, a big thank you to Randolph-Macon College for having the confidence in me in all of these years. As I mentioned, some of the early years were rough, but they stuck with me. And there's just no way in the world that this program would reach the level that I believe it is at now without the outstanding assistant coaches, first of all. They deserve as much credit as I do. It's like Coach Stark said, I get the W's and the L's, and right now I'm getting all the limelight. But without those super assistant coaches who stuck by me, listened to my whines and moans and groans and idiosyncrasies and all of those kind of things, and then the beautiful, beautiful players that I've had throughout the years who wanted, and I think somebody said that as well, who wanted to excel as much as I wanted to excel.
Thank you to all the former student athletes who came back to say a final farewell to Carroll. And thank you, Coach LaHaye. We are so very grateful for your contributions to the college and especially to the athletic department that we all call home. Have a tremendous retirement. We have a lot of teams that we'd like to congratulate this year, and while they didn't get much time, I want to start by talking about the spring sports. Softball was coming off a run to the Division III Softball World Series and hoping to make yet another run in the NCAA tournament. Men's lacrosse was off to the best start in program history at 7-0, with votes to be in the top 20 for the first time in program history. Women's lacrosse was ranked second in the ODAC preseason poll and hoping to play for a conference championship for the 6th year in a row. Men's and women's tennis were both off to strong starts, finishing at 4-1. And men's volleyball was readying itself for a push into the Continental Volleyball Conference Tournament in just their second season. I know that so many of our spring teams had so much promise for this year. And for me personally, I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of great teams here. And I have no doubt that my group this year could have been one of the best groups we've ever had, with a program record start of 15-1, finishing this shortened season as the #1 team in the country. Of course, I would have felt a lot better with a national championship, but my heart goes out to my guys and all the spring sport athletes that don't have the opportunity to finish their year or career the way they had planned. Backing up to the fall, our women's volleyball team won their 6th straight regular season title and earned an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Field hockey earned a home playoff game and its first all-region player since 2013. Football tied a program record for wins with 9 and were the champions of the inaugural Neptune Bowl. Men's soccer shrugged off extreme adversity in the form of injuries and won 9 games, earning them 5th place in the conference standings. The men's golf team won its home tournament, the Ted Keller Memorial, for the first time since 2002. Women's golf had a solid outings at each of their fall events, including a 5th place finish at the Knights Invitational. And our swim teams set 5 program records and had 8 swimmers named to the all-conference teams. We also want to recognize the outstanding cheer and dance teams who were supporting us through the wins and the losses. We are very appreciative of all of your hard work and the time that you dedicate to this department. And now, let's talk about our 3 ODAC championship teams this year. You've already heard so much about this team. Women's soccer won their first 20 matches, a program record. RMC won 8 non-conference contests before taking 10 straight ODAC matches, including a hard-fought 4-3 home win over defending champion Lynchburg. They won the ODAC regular season title and earned the right to host the conference tournament. Yellow Jackets posted a 4-1 win over Lynchburg in the quarterfinals and a 1-0 in overtime victory against Bridgewater in the semis. They outlasted Virginia Wesleyan to win the thrilling ODAC championship match on penalty kicks. 13th ranked Randolph-Macon then defeated Haverford 2-0 in the first round of the NCAA tournament and had its season ended by top-ranked and eventual national champion Messiah in the second round. The Yellow Jackets finished the year at 21-1-1 and set a program mark for victories in a season. Of course, you have already heard about head coach Jay Howe after his award earlier in the evening, the Hugh Stevens Coach of the Year award. Let's take a look at some of the video highlights from this historic season. Congratulations to women's soccer. We can't wait to see what is next for you. Next, let's take a look at the late season surge of this year's women's basketball team. The Yellow Jackets had a memorable season in Carol LaHaye's final campaign on the sideline. RMC struggled out of the gate, dropping 6 of their first 8 games, but were within striking distance in most of those losses. A turnaround was in store, however, as Randolph-Macon got stronger as the calendar turned towards 2020, winning 4 of 5 conference contests to start the month of January. The first ODAC win in February was a stunning comeback. The Yellow Jackets trailed Washington and Lee midway through the third quarter before closing the game on a 33-7 run to register a 71-56 victory. Randolph-Macon entered the ODAC tournament as the number 4 seed. The Yellow Jackets beat defending champion Shenandoah 75-48 in the quarterfinals and top-seeded Emory and Henry 72-68 in the semifinals. The Jackets captured their 10th ODAC title with a 68-50 win over Guilford in the championship game. Then the Yellow Jackets hit the road for the NCAA tournament. Randolph-Macon upset nationally ranked Transylvania 78-68 in the first round and on the Pioneers' home floor. The Yellow Jackets ended their season falling to number 8 Oglethorpe in the second round. Randolph-Macon won 13 of their final 15 games to post a 19-10 overall record. Here is just a glimpse into some of the top moments of this season. Congratulations once again to head coach Carol LaHaye and the Yellow Jackets on a tremendous year. Our final championship team for 2019-2020 is men's basketball. The team put together one of the strongest seasons in program history. After an impressive performance in an exhibition game at Division I Richmond, the Yellow Jackets started the season with 12 consecutive wins, including a 79-62 home victory over number 18 Christopher Newport. The Jackets won 15 of 16 ODAC games, including a thrilling overtime win over Lynchburg in Crenshaw Gym, and captured its fourth straight regular season conference crown. The top-seeded Yellow Jackets started the ODAC tournament with an 80-61 win over Hampton-Sydney. Randolph-Macon rallied for a 60-59 win over Roanoke in the semifinals before beating Virginia Wesleyan 72-57 in the title game. The Yellow Jackets hosted the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament, posting wins over Wesley and TC&J. RMC was scheduled to host number 13 Yeshiva in the Sweet 16 when the NCAA was forced to cancel the tournament. The Yellow Jackets, however, finished 28-2, matching a program record for wins in a season. RMC was high as number 2 in the national polls before finishing the season at number 3. Here's the video of how it all happened. Wow. I really wish we could have seen this team win a few more games. Congratulations to all of our ODAC championship winners. What a great accomplishment. After taking a look into all the great seasons we had, it's time for our next award, Moment of the Year. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Now, here are the nominees for Moment of the Year. Men's lacrosse for starting the season 7-0 and receiving votes into the USILA Top 20 for the first time in program history. Women's soccer for their penalty kick shootout against Virginia Wesleyan in the ODAC Championship. Edie Carr stops Virginia Wesleyan's fourth attempt, while Maddie Ballman converts on the Yellow Jackets' fifth to give RMC its first ODAC championship and NCAA tournament appearance since 1996. Men's golf for their win in the Ted Keller Memorial. Annually hosted by Randolph-Macon College, the Yellow Jackets last won in 2002. RMC won by just one stroke after a putt from Austin Brooks gave him a par on the 18th hole. Men's basketball for their win in front of an awesome home crowd in the NCAA tournament. Randolph-Macon defeated the College of New Jersey in the second round. Down by 1 point at halftime, the Yellow Jackets launched a 17-2 run to help them defeat TC&J 85-71 and earn a berth in the Sweet 16. Baseball for its tremendous response, knowing the potential for a closure on the season. The Yellow Jackets start and play all 15 of their seniors against York on March 12th. The seniors defeat York 14-1, gaining 16 hits, 14 runs batted in, and striking out 11. Women's basketball for claiming the team's 10th ODAC championship as they defeated 7th-seeded Guilford College in the ODAC Finals. That game also became the last ODAC championship of Coach Carol LaHaye's career.
And the winner is Women's Soccer Penalty Kick Shootout for the ODAC title.
This is women's soccer's first win in the category of Moment of the Year. The Yellow Jackets finished their season with an appearance in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The Yellow Jackets were 21-1-1, which set a new program record.
We've now looked at what our student athletes have been doing on the field and in the classroom. But now our next award has to do with what they are doing in the community. We welcome Mark Hypes back to reveal the winner of the Whiteman Bell. Mark?
Thanks, Ray. As many of you know, 4 years ago, thanks to the generosity and vision of YJC member Bob Doggett, we started the Whiteman Bell Award. This award recognizes the team with the highest percentage of players who make a financial gift to the Yellow Jacket Club, beginning their legacy of giving back and honoring the philanthropic tradition that undergirds their athletic programs. It is no stretch when I say that the athletic programs that you support and cheer on is here because of your support. Yellow Jacket Club members make up nearly 20% of our annual expenditures each year. And this award has been named in honor of the John T. Whiteman Foundation and the 19 alumni who founded that group in 1971, the precursor to the Yellow Jacket Club. But this year, in light of the ongoing crisis, we made some changes. This year, the award recognizes the team with the highest percentage of players that give back in any way, whether with their time, talents, or treasures. And to anywhere, the Yellow Jacket Club, another area of the college, or their local communities. The stories that we received back were inspiring. Students making face masks for their neighbors, for nurses, delivering groceries to their grandparents or their older neighbors, sending cards to nursing homes, and even producing the small metal part that goes in the N95 mask. At the end of our campaign, 9 teams finished with a 100% giving rate. Men's and women's basketball, men's and women's swimming, men's and women's volleyball, field hockey, women's tennis, and women's soccer. Our tiebreaker, chosen by you, was a TikTok contest. Which coach would receive the most likes on their video in 24 hours? In just 24 hours, they received over 35,000 views and 3,500 likes. And that number is still growing. Our winner at the end of that 24-hour period, with just over 1,300 likes, our 2019-20 Whiteman Bell champion, men's swimming. Coach Kintzner, this trophy will be waiting in your office when you get back to campus. Congratulations, and thanks to all of our students for giving back.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to all those who are doing their part to help out friends, families, and neighbors through this difficult time. You really are making a difference, and I'm so glad that Mark was able to come up with an idea to honor that difference. Our next awards are the George P. Compton and Susan Locke DiNaggi Awards. These awards honor the top male and female graduating student athletes that have shown excellence in athletics, academics, leadership, and sportsmanship throughout their careers here in Ashland. I've got a couple of guest speakers lined up to introduce these prestigious awards. First up, our head football coach, Pedro Arruza, to introduce this year's Compton Award.
It's an honor for me to be able to present Trey Frederick with a Compton Award. Trey was a 4-year starter at running back in our program, helped lead us to 2 ODAC championships, graduated as the ODAC's all-time leading rusher, and was one of the best young men that I've had the opportunity to coach. Trey was a great football player, and Trey accomplished a ton of great things on the field. But the best thing that I can say about Trey is he's one of the best character young men that we've had come through this program. He led by example. He was a tremendous captain and a tremendous leader for us, but he was also the hardest working player in our football program and just set the tempo and the tone for everybody in our football program. He was a great leader in the running back room. He was a great leader on our offense, but he set a great example for our players with the way that he approached things in the weight room, the way that he approached things out on the practice field, the way that he approached things on game day, and the commitment that he made to being a great team guy. It was never about how many yards he rushed for. It was never about what his individual accomplishments were. Trey was the ultimate team guy and one of the best guys that we've ever had come through this football program.
Thanks, Coach. The Coppin Award is such a testament to the amount of work it takes to be a student athlete. With that being said, I'm more than honored to be one of this year's recipients. Even being considered would have been a compliment. Randolph-Macon College was honest from the very beginning. When they state that the curriculum would be tough, they mean it. Balancing that with athletics, extracurricular activities, and community service wasn't going to make things any easier, or so I thought. Being a part of the RMC football program kept me grounded. It became a natural force for me to become well-rounded. The juggling of so many different tasks puts an athlete's time management and prioritizing skills to the ultimate test. I personally became obsessed with chasing success. The idea that having a better academic career could boost my athletic career was implemented into my mind. Knowing that we had team goals pushed me to stay in the library on days where other options were plentiful. Knowing that I had a mentor that would be checking on me, mentees that looked up to me, and kids within the community that compared their grades to mine on a weekly basis, it gave my peers and myself that edge. And if I'm being vulnerable, I've never really been the smartest person in any classroom. But I can assure you that the work ethic instilled in me wouldn't let me be outworked. Randolph-Macon football helped create this mindset, a foundation I'll never let go of. And I must pay tribute to the people that don't hear their names called enough. The people that have made this journey possible and invested in a small town kid's career. So thank you to the teammates and coaches from Johnson County, North Carolina, all the way to Ashland, Virginia. The staff members that followed our program's journey enthusiastically week to week. The professors and tutors that spent countless hours making sure I understood the concepts. The players before us and the ones to come. And last but not least, my loving and crazy family. They've always been my backbone, and for 18 years, my parents have never missed a game. Before I go, I'd like to leave one small token that I picked up from my trials over the last 4 years. What always seemed to help give me that extra push was the idea that I needed to invest. I needed to invest in the success of the people around me, our team's success, our community's well-being, my family's strength, and most importantly, but unselfishly observe, myself. We have to make sure that we invest in ourselves, an investment that will benefit us forever. If we refuse to believe in our own abilities, how can we prove and convince others to give us an opportunity? Be the example that you needed as a child. If not you, then who? Coach Aruza often emphasized that it's not the person who waits for the big break, but it's almost always the person who's the most prepared and anticipating an opportunity. As the famous quote states, we don't rise to the level of our expectations, but we fall to the level of our training. On behalf of my family and myself, thank you for this acknowledgement. Go Jackets.
Congratulations, Trey. What a tremendous body of work during your career at Randolph-Macon. Next, I'm honored to hand the floor over to a group we have spoken so much about tonight, owing to their success on the court and across multiple careers. Here is our beloved head coach, Carol LaHaye, to reveal the winner of the DiNaji Award.
I have the pleasure and joy of announcing the 2020 DiNaji recipient. The DiNaji Award was established by her family in memory of Susan Locke DiNaji's tragic death. Susan was the epitome of a student athlete. Very conscientious and committed in the classroom, love, joy, and excitement on the basketball court. All the qualities necessary for a successful student athlete. This year's recipient is a basketball player, Kelly Williams. She truly embodies the spirit of this award to its fullest. The awards and recognition that Kelly has received during her 4 years at Randolph-Macon are too numerous for me to mention given the time that I have been allotted. I know that Kelly is most proud of her academic accomplishments, as am I, but her athletic rewards and accomplishments are just as significant. But without further ado, let me introduce Kelly Williams as the 2020 DeNaji recipient.
Good evening. Let me start out with a big thank you to Coach LaHaye for presenting me this award. I would not have had the best 4 years of my life thus far without you. Thank you for caring about me, my teammates, the women's basketball program, and everyone that you have come in contact with. You have taught me so many things, and I'm thankful to have gotten the opportunity to play under a true legend. I'm honored to be recognized as the 2020 DeNaji Award recipient. An award like this does not come without the help and support of teammates. Thanks to all of you, from freshman year Kelly to now. You've put up with quite a bit, but along the way, we've reached some of the greatest moments ODAC basketball has to offer. 2 championships, 2 tournament appearances, and oh so many memories. You guys are the best. Thank you to my parents, the backbone to every decision that I've ever made. You've always supported me, and except for that one game, never missed many. You've been with me through everything, the good and the bad. Thanks for always answering the phone and listening to all my basketball gibberish. Thanks for supporting me all these years in my sport. I'm a better person because of you guys. I love you. Thanks to all of the fans for your continuous support, especially my family fan club. You've helped create an atmosphere in Crenshaw Gym like no other in the conference. As my time here as a Randolph-Macon student athlete ends, we must look to the future, a future where the only thing I can offer is my support and advice. As most of you know, my junior season ended abruptly due to an injury that came to define my career. There were all these woulda, coulda, shouldas, and only ifs, but they taught me so many irreplaceable lessons. The first of which is don't let anything set you back. Challenges are everywhere in all facets of life, in sports, school, and even our world today. It is how we face those challenges that define us. So face them head on and never let any setback steal your sunshine. Keep shining bright through all that pain. Secondly, cherish the moments. Some things only happen once and can be stripped away in the blink of an eye. We have all experienced this firsthand during these strictly virtual times. For all those returning athletes, when you get back to campus, live in the moment, because no matter how many times you hear it, and I'm sure it's a ton, the statement still stands. Time flies, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. Lastly, humility is key. As athletes, we are each flawed in our own unique ways. We do not know it all, no matter how much we like to think that we do. The moment you stop thinking about yourself, you begin to care more about everyone around you. This makes your team stronger and your bonds closer, leading to success in sports as well as life after. Thanks again to everyone who made this possible. Stay happy and healthy. Go Jackets.
Congratulations to Kelly Williams. Your career has been one for the history books, for sure, and we look forward to seeing your name atop those books for a very long time. We have one last award for the night. It's the one that you hopefully had the chance to vote for over the past week, Play of the Year. In the next video, you're going to take a look at all of the Play of the Year nominees, as well as this year's winner.
Today. 38 yards, Ely to hold for the win. Low snap, he gets it off. The kick is up, and the kick is good! It's good! With 2.8 seconds to go, and they mob the Dome at the 35-yard line.
Steals that ball. Hal comes back inside. Jackets got decent numbers here. Got to move a little bit. He's going to rip a shot. He's going to put it on goal. It's in. Now, there's an interesting piece. The senior Anthony Astrick. He put a shot. One goal. This is trouble. Hits the post. Jackets follow up. Nicole Krzyzewski's the only one to really follow up at the 8:22 minute mark.
Green scores. Ball game tied at 82. Jackets with a push into the front court. Woods with a crossover. Finds Robertson. Corner three on the way. And it's good! Robertson with the three. Jackets win at home. 85-82. Robertson with the three. Jackets stay undefeated here at home.
That's hit well to left. Back goes the left fielder, Bavard. He's looking up, and it's out of here. It's out of here. Zach Evans. Zach Evans with the home run. Zach Evans scoring. Jacob Selden and Spencer Petrozinski in front of him. Quite a shot by Zach Evans. He got a pitch a little bit up in the strike zone and took it for a ride.
Under 2 minutes to go. We'll keep you abreast of the time. Mary gets away from her defender. Shoots. Scores! Yards. Ely to hold for the win. Low snap. He gets it off. The kick is up, and the kick is good! It's good! With 2.8 seconds to go, and they mop the dough at the 35-yard line.
Congratulations to all of our award winners tonight. Before we begin to wrap up our program, however, we want to give one last honor to our seniors. For that, our athletic director, Jeff Burns, has a message.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Jeff Burns. I get to serve the college as its director of athletics, and I have the opportunity, maybe more than anyone, to spend time watching our student athletes compete on the field, seeing them around the college community, and just being a part of young people as they're growing. Our mission at our college is to develop the mind and characters of our student athletes, and I think that we're doing a pretty good job. I really appreciate you tuning in this evening, and I hope that this was a good show for you. Randolph-Macon has been celebrating excellence in athletics for nearly 20 years. We were the first ones in the conference to recognize the need to do so, and I'm proud to say that we're continuing to do it even during these tough times. I'm incredibly proud of the success of our athletic department, of our student athletes who have worn the lemon and black. In the end, I hope you feel good about your experience here at Randolph-Macon. We tried to give you a first-class experience to allow you the opportunity on and off the court to grow and develop. I hope when it's all said and done that you guys feel good about the choice you made to attend Randolph-Macon College. To end the program, we've always gone to a senior slideshow. It's a very important slideshow in my mind as it gives you a little bit of a feeling for the faces of the people behind the helmets and the face masks. To see what our student athletes look like, to get a chance to say goodbye. Normally, we would have loud applause, roars as people's faces came up. I hope that you'll continue that tradition and do so from your computers. This is a big, important event for us. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And to our seniors who are graduating, come back. I hope that the teams who do come back, when we get back, will dedicate themselves to your honor, to what you have built, to all the legacies that you have before. Listen, we've done some great things here. Please come back, enjoy them, but also know we really appreciate you. Thank you so much and enjoy the slideshow.
And with that, we conclude the 2020 Champions Dinner. It has been a true honor to serve as your MC for tonight's event. And thanks to everyone who helped put this event together. Despite its extremely unusual circumstances, that's it for me. But of course, we can't leave you without the way we close every Champions Dinner. And that's with the alma mater. Good night, everyone.